Have you ever felt like you're actually capable of so much more than this? You have dreams, you know you have potential, and in your head, you can already picture the life you want. But somehow, every time you're about to start, you stop. You tell yourself, later, tomorrow, or I'm just not in the mood right now. And without even realizing it, days keep passing by. You stay busy, but you're not really moving forward. What makes it confusing is that you're not actually a lazy person. You have ambition too, so why do you still feel stuck in the same place? If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone, and there's actually a psychological reason behind it that you probably never realized before. Number 1. Ambition without action is just escaping into fantasy. You probably have big dreams. You want to be successful, change your life, become the best version of yourself. In your mind, everything feels so clear. You can picture an amazing future for yourself. But the problem is, it all stays in your head. You keep telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes, and you postpone it again. Days keep passing, but your life stays the same. Not because you're stupid, not because you don't have potential. Sometimes, you're just too afraid to fail, afraid the results won't be good enough, afraid all your hard work might not pay off. So your brain chooses the safer option, delaying, avoiding, and staying inside your comfort zone. But the truth is, failure isn't the real enemy. The most dangerous thing is doing nothing at all, because when you fail, at least you learn something. But when you stay stuck and never try, your life never moves forward. A lot of people love dreaming big, but very few actually start. And without action, ambition becomes nothing more than a fantasy that feels good in your head, but never becomes real in your life. Number 2. Feeling lazy is often not about weakness, but about your brain avoiding discomfort. Sometimes you think you're just lazy. You feel weak, undisciplined, or like you don't have what it takes to succeed. But the truth is, it's not that simple. A lot of the time, laziness doesn't come from a lack of ability. It comes from your brain being afraid of discomfort. Inside you, there are actually two sides, constantly fighting each other. One side wants to grow, succeed, and change your life. But the other side just wants to feel safe and comfortable, avoiding failure, exhaustion, and disappointment. That's why every time you try to start something important, your brain immediately looks for the easier option. Scrolling on your phone, watching videos, playing games, lying in bed for just a minute. And all of those things give you instant dopamine that makes you feel good for a moment. Eventually, your brain learns one thing. Avoiding things feels better. That's why you keep procrastinating. Not because you're stupid, not because you're untalented, but because your brain goes into survival mode, a mode that constantly tries to avoid pressure and pain. The problem is, the more you avoid things, the stronger that habit becomes. And over time, you start believing that you really are lazy. But lazy is not your identity. It's just a pattern you've repeated for too long. And patterns can always be changed. Number 3. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is what changes your life. A lot of people wait for motivation before they start, waiting to feel inspired, waiting for the right mood, waiting until they finally feel ready. But motivation is temporary. It comes for a moment, then disappears again. If your life depends only on motivation, you'll keep moving forward and backward without any clear direction. What truly changes your life is discipline. Showing up even when you feel lazy. Starting even when you don't feel motivated. And discipline doesn't start big. It actually starts with small things. Working for 10 minutes. Reading a few pages. Taking one small step you can repeat every single day. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Your brain will resist it. You'll want to quit, look for entertainment, or go back to lying in bed. But the more you do it, the more your brain adapts. What once felt hard slowly starts to feel normal, and your environment matters more than you think. If you're surrounded by distractions every day, it's hard to stay focused. Your phone is always next to you. Notifications keep popping up. Endless scrolling all day long. And without realizing it, you spend more time consuming than creating. Most people today know too much, but do too little. Because your life doesn't change from what you watch. Your life changes from what you consistently do. Number 4. Perfectionism is fear disguised as high standards. A lot of people say they're perfectionists. They want everything to be perfect, organized, and exactly how they imagined it. But most of the time, perfectionism isn't really about having high standards. It's just fear in disguise. Fear of failure. Fear of making something bad. Fear that the result won't be as good as expected. That's why you keep delaying the start. Waiting for the perfect time. Waiting until your skills are good enough. Waiting until you finally feel completely ready. But the truth is, nobody starts out being great. Every successful person has made bad work before. Every expert was once confused, inexperienced, and looked like a beginner. That's normal. The problem is, if you're too afraid of making something bad at the beginning, you'll never grow. Because progress is never smooth all the time. Some days you feel motivated. Some days you feel exhausted. Sometimes things work out. Sometimes everything feels messy. But the people who grow aren't the ones who are always perfect. They're the ones who keep moving, even when things aren't perfect yet. Number 5. Big changes are built through small decisions repeated every day. A lot of people want their lives to change overnight. But real change almost always starts with small things, repeated consistently every day. It's not about becoming amazing instantly. It's about showing up, trying again, and keeping yourself moving even if it's slow. Sometimes you'll fail. Sometimes you'll fall back into old habits. Sometimes it'll feel like all your effort means nothing. But that's not a reason to stop. What matters isn't how perfectly you move forward, but how many times you're willing to get back up after falling. And one thing people often forget: don't be too hard on yourself. If you failed today, it's okay. Try again tomorrow. If today was messy, that doesn't mean your life is over. Self-compassion matters, because change doesn't grow from self-hatred. Change grows when you still believe you deserve to improve and become better. The small things you repeat every day slowly become habits. Habits become character. And character eventually creates a new identity. At first, it might just be 10 minutes of focus. Just one small step. But that's where momentum begins. And one day, you'll realize you're no longer the person who always procrastinated. Because big changes are built from small decisions repeated every single day. In the end, your life doesn't change because of intentions, motivation, or plans that only stay inside your head. Your life changes when you finally start moving, even if it's small, even if it's not perfect yet. The laziness, the fear of failure, the habit of procrastinating, none of that defines who you are. They're just patterns you've been repeating for a long time. And the good news is, patterns can be changed. Slowly, one small step every day. It's not about becoming perfect. It's about choosing to keep trying, even after you fail. Because successful people aren't always the smartest or the most talented. Sometimes, they're just the ones who kept walking while everyone else gave up. So stop only imagining the life you want. Start building it right now.